How Mamma Mia broke me and inspired me to go learn how to enjoy my life. I'm Steven Shomler, delighted you're here. In October of 2008, I sat in a movie theater with the movie playing right in the middle of Mamma Mia, bawling my eyes out, sobbing and crying. They got happy ABBA songs playing, the theater's dark, and here I am crying away. And this is the story of what was going on. There's two other videos that go with this. This is my personal story. I am on an epic journey, just like the mug says. And there's no way that my journey would be near as epic if I hadn't had that experience I'm about to tell you about today in this video, about the day Mamma Mia broke me. So over on my Spark to Bonfire channel, that's where I put my teaching content, where I teach people about life change and help them go live the life they imagine, equip them to build their brands and build their businesses. Over there, I have two videos related to this one. The first video is Enjoy Your Life Right Now, 5 life-changing words. That's right, enjoy your life right now, 5 life-changing words. And how to enjoy your life, the first steps. Both those videos kind of give you some equipping. So if you've watched this video and you're like, hey, I want to learn how to do that, go check out those 2 videos over there. Links will be provided down below. Okay, so a little bit of a prologue. Before we get into the actual day that Mamma Mia broke me, I'm going to give you a little bit of a prologue. The universe will respond. That's one of the things I realize and aware of, and I've been teaching, and that here's what I mean by that. If you take a forward step in a positive direction to change your life, you take a step forward, the universe will respond. I'm working with a client right now, and it's so funny. I've been telling them they need to do this, and need to do this, and need to do that, and they weren't doing it, and finally they did it. And as soon as they took those steps, people came out of the woodwork to help them, and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe all the people coming out of the woodwork. Yeah, because the universe responds when you take a step. The universe will respond, but you have to take that forward step to make things better in your life. Then the universe responds. And that's exactly what happened to me. So a little bit of background. I spent 10 plus years in the nonprofit world and 10 plus years in the banking world. And during my time in the nonprofit world, did a number of things. I worked as the chaplain at City Team Rescue Mission and Homeless Shelter, working with the homeless and the addicted downtown Portland. That was probably one of the most fulfilling things that I've ever done in my life professionally on the nonprofit side. During that time, that 10 years or so, I worked with couples. I taught about grieving. The primary thing I did is that I basically kind of did a startup. I did 3 different projects, one in Olympia, one in Minnesota, moved for one in Portland in 2004. Worked really hard to start that and build it and make it happen. And sadly, by fall of 2006, it was apparent that it just wasn't going to work. And not only was it not going to work and bring me a lot of heartbreak, but we were not going to have any money. So I had to go get a job. So I went back into banking. I started back into banking roughly the first week in January 2007. Man, I'm so grateful Scott Mattern hired me, and that was a really important step in my journey. And by April of roughly April 2007, the other project, the nonprofit project, was completely gone. It was over. That failure brought a lot of grieving and heartache into my life. And actually, that grieving prepared me for a few years later in 2016, when I grieved the loss of my son Zane. There's actually a lot of connection between the type of grieving in both those situations. I'll probably write an article about that someday, but that's a story for another time. Well, 10 years in the nonprofit world, when I was in the nonprofit world, and I don't know if it's true now, it was definitely true then, it was kind of the cool, fun thing was to have a mission statement, a vision statement, not only for your organization, but for your own life. And so during that whole 10-year period, I always had a mission statement, a vision for the organization I was leading. All 3 of the organizations I led, I had mission statements and vision statements for them. And then I had a corollary mission and vision statement for my life that was kind of tied to that project. And here's what I was going to do and what I was going to accomplish. And here's the vision statement, the preferred future that's going to happen if we make the mission happen. And I loved doing that. I loved having a mission and a vision statement. I thought it was fun and great. And okay, I'm doing the right thing, and I enjoyed it. Well, when that 3rd project died in April of 2007, my mission and vision statement no longer applied, but I didn't realize that. Because I'm just working hard, recovering from the loss, working at the bank, trying to figure out this new job and how to make it work. And go all the way forward to Thanksgiving 2007. We go off to see my ex-in-laws. They were in-laws at the time, 70 miles north of Spokane, Colville, Washington. Kind of the middle of nowhere, and the setting, there's a lot of time to be alone and to think and to walk in the woods and the snow. And it occurred to me in one horrifying moment, I realized, oh my gosh, for the first time in many, many years, more than a decade, I don't have a mission and vision statement for my life. And that freaked me out and made me uncomfortable and anxious. I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? So I said, man, I got to have one. I told the universe, I got to have a mission and a vision statement. And And man, and the response I got, I did not like at all. The response I got, clear as a bell, Ecclesiastes 9:9, the wisdom of King Solomon, enjoy your life. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Enjoy my life? I did not like that at all. Because up until that point, my missions and vision statements for the past 10 years were rescuing people and helping people and making a difference and life change. And none of that seemed to be there in this statement that I enjoy life. I'm like, well, that's no good. You know, that's the NIV version of the Bible. That's a certain translation of the Bible. And I really like how things are said in the Message. And so I went and looked up Ecclesiastes 9 in the Message. And Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verses 7 through 10, I'll put that block of text down below so you can read it. That was even worse. It was happy and joyful and fun and exciting. And I'm like, this is terrible. It really made me angry. Because the suggestion, that the very clear implication to me was that I needed to make, for the next season of my life, the next 2, 3, 4 years, my mission needed to be to learn how to enjoy my life. And that just horrified me. That was shallow, that was insignificant, that was terrible. Like I said, there's no life change happening, nobody's being rescued. What I didn't realize is the person that needed rescuing was me. And the person that needing to change their life was me. And I needed to tackle this issue of enjoying my life if I was ever going to enjoy the future that was before me. But I didn't know that at all. Here's why I needed rescuing. My dad, bless his heart, you know, he did the best he could with the story he had. My mom, she's a different story altogether, an entirely different story. But there's some things my dad taught me. One of the things my dad taught me that was mostly good was the value of hard work. You just got to work hard. And I learned to work very, very, very hard. But then I learned some other things, and I'm sure it'd be an ache to his heart to hear this story, but I learned that the work will never be done. I learned that I will never be good enough. I learned that I'll never get enough done. And when you combine, you know, a commitment to working hard with never feeling good enough and never being done and never getting enough done, it kind of leads to a life of quiet desperation that's kind of just a heartache, and it's kind of leads you to be just a hardworking curmudgeon that absent a lot of joy. And then to kick it all off, to top it all off, I mean, is I was also never, as a child or as an adult, no one ever taught me that I need to enjoy my life. Now, as simple as that was, I never was taught it. All the years in various faith communities, you know, if I was at a church, I never once heard a sermon saying, hey, by the way, Ecclesiastes 9:9, the good book, it says enjoy your life. I never got that. No one ever taught me that. So here I am working hard, kind of knowing in the back of my mind the story that I was living by that I didn't really know, that I'd never be good enough, that I'd never get enough done, and the work would never end, and I'm not enjoying my life. It's kind of a tragic, miserable existence. So, back to Thanksgiving 2007, this suggestion that I need to make enjoying my life my current mission statement and the thing I focus on for a while, it offended me and made me angry. There's some challenges that come into your life that will challenge your perspective, they'll challenge your story, challenge your view of the world or how things work. My friend Jerry Holt talks about it, and when that happens in a big way, it kind of cracks your cosmic egg, cracks the way you see the world, kind of changes the way your gyros are set, and maybe you're told, oh, it's this way instead of that way, and it really is a difficult kind of challenge. There's another kind of challenge that comes to your life where there's just a lot of pain that comes into your life. You know, like my son Zane passed away, that was a huge challenge. But with either kind of challenge, when challenges come into your life, one of two things will happen. They'll make you better or they'll make you bitter. And this challenge that was set before me, Thanksgiving 2007, that I need to enjoy my life, that definitely made me bitter. Made me bitter and grumpy. I didn't even like it. I didn't want to think about it. It was terrible. And thank goodness the universe was not done with me, because August of 2008, I head off to see a movie. Now, I didn't have this language at the time, but throughout my whole life, and even there in August 2008, movies were what I call a vitality pursuit. It's a recreational activity that feeds the soul that you are, that leaves you feeling restored and replenished. Years and years ago, I heard my friend Bill Miller, he was speaking and he talked about, how he loves to hike and hike and hike for hours, and he gets to this beautiful waterfall in the woods and he goes way, way up high and there's a beautiful waterfall and he just loves it, and how much that means to him and how much he enjoyed it. And I remember sitting there thinking, are you kidding me? I don't want to hike for hours to see a stupid waterfall. My muscles going to be tired. I'm going to be achy. You probably have to haul your own water in. Probably can't drink the water out of that waterfall. That did not sound interesting to me at all. But what did leave me feeling the way Bill Miller feels when he hikes in and sees a beautiful, beautiful waterfall what does leave me feeling restored and replenished was when I see the right kind of movie, the kind of movie where the good guys win. I'm so grateful. My dad's friend, George Dodge, years ago when I was very young, he made sure that we left the Rancho Real del Toro. We went down the dirt road and got onto the freeway and headed through Corona, headed into Riverside, went to the Tyler Mall. It was a big journey for us. And we saw Star Wars in the theater. And man, that blew my mind. The first time we saw the Skrull and the big ships and Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and Princess Leia, and I just thought that was amazing. And I also got to see Indiana Jones in the theater, Raiders of the Lost Ark. That first movie, and the big rock comes rolling after Indy, and he's got that whip, and he's swinging across big crevasses, and that enchanted me. I love that so much. And then Rocky. I saw Rocky as a young child in the theater. Man, that was just so fantastic. And those are the kind of movies that kind of like shaped me early on. That those are the movies I want to see, where the good guys win and good things happen, and they just fire me up. And I kind of had this hope, August 2008, that maybe that's what we find with this movie, Mamma Mia. I didn't know much about it. I had no idea that it was a musical with lots of happy singing. I knew ABBA was involved somehow, but it wasn't really clear what ABBA was or much about their music. Just like, hey, we're going to go see this movie, it's going to be fun. It's probably a good thing I didn't know all those things, or I might have not gone, given who I was. So we sit down in the theater, and the lights go down, and I've got popcorn, and that to me is just a magical time. I love the previews of other cool movies I might get to see in the future, and something to look forward to, and the movie starts, and there's a lot of singing, and there's a lot of dancing, and there's this poor lady, Donna, and she's on an island, and she's been raising her daughter and trying to build this business and this inn, and she's working really hard, and she obviously doesn't enjoy her life, and I'm getting drawn into this character of Donna. Meryl Streep's playing the character, and I love Meryl Streep, and I'm kind of engaged and really enthralled by the whole thing, but it's kind of ridiculous and kind of ludicrous, and I kind of don't know what to do with it. And musicals, at that time of my life, that weren't necessarily my thing. And then two of her friends show up on the island from a long time ago, and they're in her room in this one pitiful scene that was very pitiful to me, the scene that broke me. They start challenging Dawn about how she's a curmudgeon, she doesn't enjoy her life, and she says, "I grew up." And boy, that resonated with me, because at a very early age, I had to be the adult in the family and make up for a lot of the misery that my mom brought into our lives. And, I grew up at a very early age. And that resonated. Yeah, I grew up. I'm responsible. I do the right thing. And her friend says, well, then grow back down again. And they start singing her the song Dancing Queen. You can dance, Dancing Queen, and it's like uncomfortable and embarrassing and cringing. And Donna hides her head, and she's so horrified by this song that she runs and jumps on the bed and hides under the blankets. And you can see in the scene, she's hiding under the blankets. And that's exactly how I felt. Yeah, that's right, Donna, this crazy song. But the more they're singing it, the more my heart started to shift, and things started to loosen up, and like I want to dance. And it wasn't the dancing, it was the joy that they were talking about. I saw Footloose, as a teenager, the original version, and I love that movie, but I totally missed it, that dancing was joyful. I kind of just got into the part of, taking on, oppressive religious authority. I've always liked that. I don't like oppressive religious authority. I like taking them on and seeing them go down, and that's more what I got out of the movie than the joy that comes from dancing. And here they're singing about you can dance and joy, and pretty soon I just feel tears welling up in my eyes, and my heart is just breaking at all this joy. And then to top it off, eventually Donna gets so into it, she starts jumping up and down on the bed happily, which is like one of the most childlike things you can do. Do you remember when you were a kid, the few times you jump up and down on the bed and it was just joyful, like you could fly? And I'm like, what is going on here? And I can feel these tears, and they're about to just burst forth, and they're bright brimming on my eyes, and there's many, many more tears behind them, and I'm horrified. Am I going to lose it right here in the theater over a song about a dancing queen that I don't even understand what's going on? And then they leave the room, and they start running and dancing through the villa and through the community, and they got a whole bunch of women following them, dancing with them. They're running down to the water. And there's this one scene that just pierced my heart. It was so epic to me. It was just like biblical, and they're dancing, and there's elderly, older Greek woman, not elderly, but older Greek woman, and she's got a bundle of sticks she's carrying. Now, one year in high school, my dad was given the opportunity to cut down a bunch of trees in a nearby cemetery, in the back lot of the cemetery, and haul them away. So he'd cut down the tree, and then he'd shave off all the branches. Then he had a 2-foot wide stick, and he'd cut the tree into 2-foot wide chunks. And then if he needed to cut the big chunks down, he cut those down. And then for my summer, what I got to do is drive the truck and load up the wood and take it home and unload it and stack it. And then go back down the cemetery and get 2 or 3 loads a day. And that's what he did for a good part of that summer. That was my life. What's kind of sad is that David Hines, a friend of mine in high school, he got in big time trouble. So his punishment, his dad assigned him to work with my dad to help me with this wood. So my life was his punishment. So I know what it's like literally to carry bundles of sticks and bundles of wood and spend all day doing it. And so, man, when she had those bundles of sticks, I flashed back to that part of my life, and this woman, she threw her sticks aside, and it was almost like she was throwing off her burden. She went running after all these crazy people singing and dancing, and that was it. I lost it. Tears just started running down my face just because they're so happy. And then they're all dancing on a dock, and I grew up with a dock, and I couldn't take it that the water was turquoise and the sky was blue and there was sun glistening off everything, and they were smiling and singing and dancing. And I didn't know how to contain it. It's like, okay, I want to dance. I want to enjoy my life like that. I want that. And then Donna pushed her friend in the water, and she pushed her other friend in the water, and then she jumped off the dock and did a cannonball into the water, and it just completely, the rest of it broke away, and I'm sobbing and sobbing and sobbing at the beauty of this, and I realized, man, I haven't enjoyed my life, my whole life, and I want what they have in that scene. I want to enjoy my life just like that. And from that moment on, right there in that theater, that was August 2008, I began working on learning how to enjoy my life. And somewhere roughly between 2009 and 2015, I began to enjoy my life. I probably each year got a little bit better at it, and the brightness of my enjoyment of my life got even better and better and better. And I'm so glad I did that, because in 2016, I went through a really serious challenge, and enjoying my life helped me with that. And then in 2017, September 13th, 2017, I got the most amazing gift, the most amazing thing happened in my life. And that would have never happened if I didn't enjoy my life. So I'm telling you, man, if you don't enjoy your life, I highly encourage you to learn how to do it. Life is too short and too precious to live a life you don't love. I'm Steven Shomler. I am on an epic journey. I highly encourage you to get off the couch, get out the front door, and head out on your own epic journey.